In this class, we're going to study or continue our studies in Aesop's Fables. We're starting at 12:30. We're going to study the sixth fable in Aesop's Fables, which is titled The Wolf and the Lamb. So let's take a minute to get our notes ready. At the top of your page, write your name. And under your name, write today's date. Today's date is April. So we write 04/05/2022. And then on the right side of your page, write the name of the class, which is Aesop's Fables. And the name of the fable, The Wolf and the Lamb. The Wolf and the Lamb. So this is our sixth fable so far. We studied the fable of the two frogs. We studied the fable of Jupiter and the camel. We studied the fable of the lion hunting with the other beasts, the stag looking into the pool. In our last lesson, we studied the cock and the jewel. And in this lesson, we study the wolf and the lamb. All right, so remember, Aesop's fables are not just children's stories. They're not going to be very exciting stories. They're not meant to be read like adventure stories or anything like that. They're moral lessons. They're short stories that teach a moral lesson. And like we always do, before we read this fable, let's just think about the title. The Wolf and the Lamb. The Wolf and the Lamb. So before we read, let's just think about these two characters. What do you know about wolves? What do you know about a wolf?
Big, bad,
wicked. Okay? You think of a wicked creature. What else do you think about when you think of wolves? Nasty. What else? Crazy. Smart. Mean. Oops, that's men. All right, so when we think about wolves, we think wicked, nasty, crazy, smart, mean. Okay? That's what we think about when we think of wolves. Right? Do people keep wolves on their farms? Okay? So we might want to add one more word, right? Wild. They're wild. They're nasty. They're mean. They kill other animals. That's what we think of when we think of a wolf. Right? What do we think of when we think of a lamb? Innocent. Gentle. Nice. Tame. Do men keep lambs?
Yes.
Yeah, so they're tame. Cute. Do you want to cuddle with a lamb? Right? Lambs are cuddly. They're cute, little, friendly, gentle, innocent animals. Are they strong? No, they're weak, right? How do lambs protect themselves? They don't, right?
Yeah.
They don't protect them. They can't. They have to be taken care of by a shepherd. Men protect lambs. Okay? So they're weak. They're cute. They're innocent. They're gentle. They're nice. They're cuddly. They're tame. They're not like a wolf, right? Wolf is like the opposite of a lamb. Okay? So if we look at the title, we see the title is The Wolf and the Lamb. We can see that this fable is going to be about two animals that are very different. Right? Two animals that are very different. The wolf and the lamb. So let's read together the fable of the wolf and the lamb. So listen, just listen as I read the fable, okay? Listen. And listen to all the details. Listen to all the details. Because remember, the moral of the lesson, the moral of the fable is in the details. Okay, listen. A hungry wolf. So is our fable about a wolf or something more? A hungry wolf. Do you think a hungry wolf is nicer than a normal wolf?
No.
You think a hungry wolf is even meaner than a normal wolf? So Aesop starts the story and tells us right in the beginning, a hungry wolf one day saw a lamb. So what do you think right from the beginning? A hungry wolf saw a lamb. Do you think that the wolf is thinking about how cute the lamb is? How cuddly the lamb is? What do you think this hungry wolf is thinking? How he's going to eat that lamb, right? He's looking at that lamb like a little hamburger. Okay? A hungry wolf one day saw a lamb drinking at a stream. So what's the lamb doing? Is it doing anything bad? Just drinking at the stream, right? Not doing anything bad. The hungry wolf saw a lamb drinking at a stream and wished to frame some plausible excuse for making him his prey. And that sentence may be hard to understand. Wished to frame. What that means is he wanted to make something up. To frame something means to make something up. Okay? He wished to frame some plausible excuse. An excuse is a reason why you have to do something, right? Why you did something. Right? It's an excuse. If you break a glass in the kitchen and I say, what happened? And you say, I broke the glass because my brother bumped into me. You give an excuse for what happened, right? So an excuse is an explanation for why you do something. The wolf wished to frame or make some excuse for making the lamb his prey. What does prey mean here? What does it mean to make a lamb his prey? To eat it. Prey means an animal that another animal eats. So when a lion attacks a deer and catches the deer and eats it, the deer is the lion's prey. The prey is the animal that gets captured and eaten. Okay? The wolf wanted to make the lamb his prey, but he had to come up with an excuse for why he would eat him. So the wolf says this to the lamb. He says, what do you mean by muddling the water that I am going to drink? So the wolf yells at the lamb and asks him, why is he making his water muddy? Right? So you imagine the lamb. How does the lamb drink the water? He might take a couple steps down into the stream, right, to drink it. And maybe when he steps into the stream, he digs up a little bit of mud at the bottom of the stream, and the mud washes away. Where does the mud go? Downstream, right? So when the stream is going past, if he stirs up a little bit of mud, all the mud will go downstream. Okay? So the wolf says to the lamb, what do you mean by muddling the water that I'm going to drink? You selfish little lamb, right? You're making my water all muddy. He fiercely said to the lamb. And the lamb answers and says, pray forgive me. Please forgive me. Meekly answered the lamb. What does meekly mean? Meekly means gently. Okay? Meek is to be gentle, to be humble. The lamb humbly answered and said, "Please forgive me. I'm sorry for making the water muddy." The lamb says, "I should be sorry in any way to displease you, but as the stream runs from you towards me, you will see that such cannot be the case." So the wolf was upstream and the lamb was downstream, and if the lamb stirred up the dirt and made any mud in the water, which way would the mud go? Towards the wolf? No, away from the wolf, right? So even if the lamb stirred up the mud in the water, that mud didn't go up into the wolf's drinking water, right? So the wolf was doing what? What was he doing? Oh, he was lying. The wolf was lying, right? The mud wasn't coming into his water. It can't, because he's higher up the stream than the lamb. The mud was going the other way. The lamb didn't make his water dirty. And so the lamb says, "Please forgive me. I should be sorry in any way to displease you, but the stream runs from you towards me. And you will see that such cannot be the case. I can't make your water muddy when you're upstream." So what does the wolf do? Does he say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake"? Is that what he does? No, he just makes another excuse, right? So then the wolf says, "That's all very well," said the wolf, "but you know you spoke ill of me behind my back a year ago." So what does the wolf do? He says, "Forget about that. That excuse is not going to work, so I'll make up a new excuse," right? And he says, "You spoke about me behind my back a year ago." What does it mean to speak behind someone's back? Yeah, to say bad things about them when they're not around, right? You know, so when the person is around, we're friendly and we're nice and we smile at them. But then when they turn around and walk away, we say nasty things behind their back. You see that idea? Okay? So the wolf says, "Okay, well, maybe you're not making my water dirty, but you know what you did? A year ago, you said nasty things about me behind my back." That's his second excuse, right? For why he's going to pretend he's angry at this lamb. "You said nasty things about me behind my back a year ago." And the lamb says, "Nay, believe me," replied the lamb, "I was not then born." So the wolf says, "You talked bad about me last year," and the lamb says, "I wasn't even alive last year. I never spoke badly about you last year." So then what does the wolf do? Does the wolf say, "Oh, I'm sorry"? No. What does he do? He just makes another excuse. He goes on and says, "It must have been your brother then," growled the wolf. "It must have been your brother then." But then the lamb answers and says, "It cannot have been my brother." Why not? I don't have a brother. My brother couldn't have said it. I don't even have a brother. So then the wolf answers and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right." Is that what he says? No. He says, "I know it was one of your lot," rejoined the wolf. And then the wolf says to the lamb, listen to this. The wolf says to the lamb, "Make no more idle excuses. make no more excuses. The wolf blames the lamb for making excuses. What's the wolf doing? Making excuses. So he yells at the lamb and says, stop trying to make excuses. And he then seized the poor lamb, carried him off to the woods, and ate him. This is the fable of the wolf and the lamb. So what's the moral lesson of this fable? The moral lesson of this fable is that people who have evil intentions will try to make excuses, but they're going to do what they want no matter what. When people have evil intentions, they will find any excuse for them. All right? So the moral of this lesson, is evil people like the wolf will accept any excuses. Let's say that, okay? When a person wants to do evil, they will do evil, and they'll try to explain why they're doing it. And even if all of their explanations, all of their excuses are proven to be false, they'll still do evil. We could just say, evil people will do evil things. And that's why evil people are dangerous. And when we say evil people, we don't mean a normal person who sometimes may do a bad thing. Evil people are people who do bad things, and there's no way to stop them because they desire to do evil. They desire to do it. Doing evil is like their food. It's like they can't live unless they do evil. They can't rest until they do evil. These are the kind of people that the government puts in prison or kills. Because these kinds of people, they can never be controlled. They'll never be good. And other people will always be in danger as long as they're free. And so what our government does is our government arrests these people, puts them in prison, or puts them to death. Because they can't be allowed with other people or they'll do evil. Some people are evil like the wolf, and they will not rest until they do the evil that they desire to do. And so we have a good lesson about evil people. Evil people make excuses for their evil desires, right? Evil people make excuses. And I want you to learn another important thing about evil people, an important word. Contradiction. Contradiction, that's a big word, but what it means is when you say something against yourself. Actually, I should write self-contradiction. Self-contradiction. Self-contradiction is when you say something against yourself. You say one thing and then you say something else. You can tell a person is evil because evil people contradict themselves. You can also tell evil people because they're hypocrites. Another word to learn is hypocrite. A hypocrite is a person who tells someone else to do something or to stop doing something, but they do it. Right? Like if I was a man who never studied and I yelled at you that you need to study, that's a hypocrite. A person who tells other people to do something that he doesn't do, or who tells other people to not do things that he does. That's a hypocrite. Okay? We see the wolf contradicts himself. The wolf is a hypocrite. He tells the lamb not to make excuses, but he's making excuses. The lamb proves that he's wrong. The lamb proves that the things that he says can't even be true. And the wolf doesn't care. The wolf doesn't care if he's wrong. He's going to do what he wants anyway. And so when you meet a person like this, when you meet a person who says things about you that are false, follow me here. If you meet a person who says things about you that are false, and you prove to him that they're false, and he doesn't say that he's sorry, and he just says something else about you that's false, and you prove that that's false, and he doesn't say he's sorry, he doesn't care if he does things that are wrong, he just goes on to something else. If you meet a person like that, you need to be very careful, because that person is evil. Right? If you do something bad to someone by mistake, what do you say? You say, I'm sorry. If someone does something bad to you, and then after they do something bad, they don't say that they're sorry. You know why they don't say that they're sorry? Because they're not sorry. They're not sorry that they did something bad to you. And they'll do something else bad to you. And they probably want to do more things bad to you. So when the lamb, first of all, when the lamb saw the wolf, what should she have done or he have done? He should have cried for help or tried to get away, right? As soon as, if you're a lamb and you're talking to a wolf, you're in trouble. And if you're a good person who wants to be good, it's hard to be good because evil people will do evil things to you while you're trying to do good. What's the lamb trying to do? Get a drink? You know? Think about criminals. You'll have a man who's just trying to go to work and pay for his family's bills, and the criminals are trying to steal his stuff. It's hard to be good. It's hard to be good. It's hard to be with evil people when you're trying to be good because you're like a lamb, right? You're like a lamb. If a father gets money from his work, what does he do with his money? Does he buy guns with it? Does he buy a tank and a helicopter? And no, right? He buys food for his children. He buys clothes for his family. He pays for his house. He's like a lamb. He's not storing up for himself all kinds of weapons and defenses against his enemies. He needs the money that he makes to provide for his family. He's like a lamb. He's innocent. He's gentle. But the wolf is just always trying to do evil. So the first problem is lambs can't be with wolves. And it's a good lesson for you that you need to never allow yourself to get into a situation that's dangerous. Right? You following me? You need to think ahead. You need to not let yourself get into a situation with an evil person because you might not be able to get out of it. As soon as the lamb sees the wolf, the lamb already knows he's in trouble. He should have thought about that before, right? Why is the lamb by himself? Are lambs supposed to be by themselves? No. Lambs are not supposed to be by themselves. So you see how this fable, if we keep meditating on it, you see how we can think about more and more moral lessons? You see that? So it starts with a lesson about the wolf being evil, making excuses and just doing what he desires to do, even if he has no excuse for it. But we can also think about the lamb, and we can learn from the lamb. We can learn that if you're a lamb, you need to be careful. And you need to make sure you don't get into a bad situation, because if you get into a bad situation, it may be too late to save you. Right? Many kids get into bad situations. They disobey their parents. And they get themselves into bad situations, and then no one can help them. Right? That's one of the reasons why God says, children, obey your parents, is because your parents are trying to keep you safe. What do kids think? Kids think, oh, mom and dad are so boring. They don't let us do anything. But one of the reasons why your parents tell you no is because they're trying to keep you safe. Maybe this lamb was at home and the lamb said, hey, Mom, can I go get a drink by the stream? And maybe his mom said no, and he disobeyed. And he went out by the stream anyway, and the wolf got him. So there's more moral lessons we can think about if we keep reflecting on it. So evil people are going to do evil things. Even if you don't deserve it, you might think, no one will hurt me. I'm a good person. No one's going to do anything bad to me. I'm just a cute little girl. No one's going to hurt a cute little girl. But you're wrong, because there are people in the world who are like wolves. There are people in the world who are wolves. And they will do evil things. And when other people tell you that, you need to listen to them and not get into bad situations. All right? So the moral of the wolf and the lamb, we can say the moral is that evil people will do evil things, right? We could also say one moral lesson of the wolf and the lamb is don't get yourself into dangerous situations, right? Because there may be no way out. So the next question we ask is, why did Aesop choose a wolf and a lamb? It's pretty simple, right? The wolves are evil. What do wolves do? They kill, right? That's what wolves do. That's what they do. Wolves act like wolves. They kill. And lambs are innocent and gentle, and they have no way to defend themselves against wolves. The only way that a lamb can defend itself against a wolf is what? To stay by its owner, right? To stay by the shepherd, to stay where it belongs. The shepherd usually protects the sheep from wolves. He puts up fences. He allows them to go into a barn. He locks them up at night so they're all safe. If the lamb goes away from the owner, the wolf's going to get him. And so the only way the lamb can defend itself is to stay where it belongs. So the wolf and the lamb, the wolf is evil, the lamb is innocent. And that allows Aesop to show us what it's like in the world when innocent people are with evil people. Do you think that you'll be safe because you're good and evil people will be nice to you because you're good? No. Evil people are evil. Okay? Now, the next question we ask in our lesson is, how does this fable apply to our lives? How does this fable apply to our lives? And remember, I don't want you to just restate the moral when you talk about how it applies to your life. Pay attention. When I ask you, how does the moral apply to your life? I want you to think of an example. Think of an example. What's one way that this fable can help you in your life? Think of an example. Don't just say the same thing. Don't say, this fable can help me not to go around evil people. That's not what the question asks. The question is asking, how does this fable apply to your life? Give me a specific example of something in your life where this fable can help you. Okay? That's what I'd like you to think about as you do your assignment. So that's the fable of the wolf and the lamb. Watch out for evil people, because they will do evil to you even if you're good. Because, why? They're evil, right? Fable of the wolf and the lamb. Take a minute now and write a brief summary at the bottom of your notes about what we talked about in this class, and that'll be all for our study of the fable of the wolf and the lamb.